So I had a friend on Facebook pose the question. Basically, she's saying that she likes it when a man takes a leadership role and plans what they're going to do on a date instead of saying, hey, you want to go out? What do you want to do? You know, she likes it when he's made that decision already. And she says, don't most women feel that way?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Unless they've been infected by the feminist mind virus that thinks they're supposed to lead.
I think the other caveat is that we're looking at healthy masculine leadership, not the insecure stuff that says we're going to do this whether you like it or not.
No.
If he's putting thought into it and he's doing it as this is something I think she'll enjoy, that I'll enjoy, that's the kind of leadership I'm looking at.
How many times have I taken you to an Indian restaurant?
Never.
Never. Why?
I don't like Indian food.
Okay. Have you really had much of it, though?
I really haven't, and I would be willing to try.
If I had the right situation, I would encourage trying it. But we also have a brown bag with restaurants for when we let fate decide, because that's a little bit fun. And what's not in there? Restaurants you don't like. So it is the man's responsibility to run the romance department. Dr. Glover talks about this. And the reality is, the feminine responds beautifully to masculine leadership.
And like I said to her, I think I might catch some flack from some women for saying this, but it's a lot like toddlers and structure. We respond well to healthy masculine leadership.
And I know an example I've talked about in other dating videos was I was made plans one time.
Yeah.
And the restaurant was closed for a private event. I had looked up the menu, hadn't been there. I knew what I was getting. Now, younger me would have gotten mad, and older me always has a plan B or figures it out. And we're at the City Market area.
Okay.
And there's a pizzeria that we had eaten at before the Foo Fighters concert the fall before, and there's all sorts of restaurants down there. So it's not like you're lacking. So what I did is I pulled it up, texted the people who were meeting us, said, hey, we're going to be here. The other restaurant's closed. And what I didn't do was get mad, which does more to kill the mood.
Yes.
And I never noticed this when I was young. I didn't know this. And when I had this and I learned this, I was like, oh, shit. No wonder why. There were some issues. But men, and I can't tell you how many guys I've coached who never took the lead when it came to dating. And then when they did, post-divorce, they're like, oh my God, how many women, more than half of the women commented on how wonderful it was to have the guy take the lead.
Yeah.
Far more than half.
So a follow-up question that my friend posed was, why do you think so many women end up steering the ship? I wanted to read it and make sure I got it right. But why do you think so many women end up steering the ship? I think it's because there's a void.
I think there is... masculinity has been demonized by society. Healthy masculinity is required for the world, required for men, and I think the society has feminized men to some extent because you have, if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. Your kindergarten teacher, mine was Miss Ann, Sister Jude was second grade. The only male teacher in my elementary school was Mr. Francis, an 8th grade, a science teacher. Okay. Little different because I went to an all-boys school after that, Catholic high school. But we grow up and we see it in education. They want the boys to sit still like a girl, and they want, and so we discourage boys being boys the last couple of generations. We discourage healthy masculinity, and then we have men who... You talk about dating. I made a post and referenced about not dating exclusively for 6 months, and the men lost, all the nice guys lost their freaking minds. Oh my God, that's so wrong. They all were upset, and then about a third, much more quiet minorities, like solid advice.
Yeah.
This is right, too soon, and this is a guy who's in love, a little over a month, and he's already put her on a pedestal, which means she can only look down on him. But nobody can articulate, well, why is it wrong to date non-exclusively?
Yeah.
Okay. And I had some past clients see the video and reach out and go, man, that video was spot on. Thank you. And they said, I was uncomfortable when you talked about dating multiple women. And I want to be clear.
We're being honest about it.
Honest and upfront. We're not doing anything.
Not hiding it, not being sketchy.
We're also not trying to date all the women. You know, we're not looking they're not out looking just to get laid. And so then they've learned, oh, this is what dating looks like. This is what taking the lead looks like. You know what? Plan the adventure and invite her to join you. I plan the vast majority of date nights. Now, when I had you plan a couple, did that cause you any stress?
Yes, which actually leads me to the feminine side of that answer, because I think, you know, a lot of women end up steering the ship, number one, because there's a void,
right.
But number two, because we carry so much anxiety and stress with us all the time. So many different reasons for that, right? But that anxiety in almost anyone leads someone to go, okay, I have to get control of something.
Become control freaks.
And we start micromanaging everyone around us, and it has to be done our way instead of just, it's getting done.
That's not working for you.
It's getting done. That's what matters, right?
What's the right way to load the dishwasher?
However the hell you want. If you're the one doing it, you get to decide how it gets done.
So, you have been experiencing a very healthy, grounded, masculine leadership for over 4 years.
Yes.
How has your stress and anxiety level changed from when we first started dating?
Can you tell I'm happy?
Now,
like it's almost non-existent.
Masculine leadership allows the beauty of the feminine to blossom, to flourish. We're a container. There's a video I talk about riverbanks with Matt Epsky. Again, it isn't about, the feminine isn't weak. It's incredibly strong. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's different than the masculine. And we're singular focused. You have diffuse awareness. You know, that's the reason why you do better with kids in nurturing, because we'd be so focused on what we're doing. Kid would fall off a cliff before we realize it. You know, and so...
So are you saying women can multitask?
No.
Oh, okay.
I said you have diffuse awareness. Anybody wants to take that bet, let's bring it on, because you can't multitask. But the reality is, we complement each other. Think of the yin-yang, and you thrive from masculine leadership.
Absolutely. I always like to, usually when I'm introducing that concept to someone, I point out that within the yin-yang symbol, right, each side has just a little bit of the other.
Yes, there's the little dot.
The little dot?
Yeah.
Has just a little bit of the other. So it's like a spectrum. Everybody has a little bit of both, but, you know, you've got to have that complementary.
You're somewhere on the spectrum.
This is true. I'm not going to deny it.
So we have a masculine essence and a feminine essence in all of us.
Yeah.
And the reality is, when we fail to lead as men, we put our loved ones into a position where they have to assume more of the masculine role, which is not their natural role, which is exhausting for them, okay? Doesn't mean they can't do it,
right?
But then you wonder why she's not feminine when she's in a masculine energy all the time.
It doesn't mean that some men and women are naturally drawn to or inclined to the opposite, but we're talking generalities.
Yes. Because, if we don't put the disclaimers in, the pitchfork people will come. But the reality is, you want to help her relax back into the feminine. And, you know, it is the way we are as humans. And there's nothing wrong with being grounded, calm, masculine man. And you're supposed to lead the dating. And guess what? When you can relax...
Exactly. I was getting ready to go there. When I can relax and just let him do it, I can enjoy it more. I don't have to worry about all the details. I don't have to worry about, are we going to get there on time? Are we going to do this? He runs the show, and I love it.
And I ask for input when I have things I'm not 100%, and I'm debating, I'll ask for input. But my plans it's not like I'm winging it or being half-assed. I put some thought into them, and you know what? Dating's not that hard. A little bit of effort goes a long way. And guys, it's we're coming into summer. Guess what? Free concerts, all sorts of art fairs, festivals. There's all sorts of things to do. Go, enjoy, do something different. I've always told guys I don't consider dinner and movies a date. You can't talk. You're eating. It's hard to talk. Movies, you can't talk. You're supposed to be watching. There's so many other things. Mini golf, axe throwing, walk, hiking, bicycle ride, art festival, music festival, there's all sorts of things. Yeah, the winter's a little tougher. You got to go indoors.
Yeah, but still.
And that's just off the top of my head without even giving it any thought. They've got the places where you can make your own ceramics. So, you could, there's all sorts of things. Be creative. A cooking class together. So, men, you're supposed to lead. And if a woman's watching this and this upsets her that I say that, I don't care. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, grounded, calm, healthy masculine leadership is what we're talking about. And the feminine thrives under that.
I think a healthy feminine thrives under that.
Yes. Well, that's a given. Sorry. I
know
better than to assume that. No, good point.
Out there in YouTube land.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And of course, there's always that one person who's the exception. My wife plans all the dates and we have a great marriage. Good for you.
Great. That's what works for you.
That works. Awesome.
That's how your yin yang works.
Yeah.
But that's not the way it is for the majority of people.
So guys, plan the dates. And remember, you're not asking mommy permission. If she's in a funky mood and at the last second is like, take one of your kids or take yourself. Don't sit at home like a little boy who was told no. That's the other thing that we see is when there's a challenge in the relationship and they hit kind of an issue, they will not always, let's do that. And then at the last second, they'll be like, no. And I tell guys all the time, you go out and go. If that new restaurant you've been waiting, come back, let them know just how good it was. And it could have been better with one thing. And they're like, what? If you would have joined me. But don't cancel your plans because she changes her mind or she decides to opt out.
And ladies, I want to put out there too, it's very similar for you. Don't sit around and wait for him to make the plans if he's not doing it. If he's not taking that role and you need someone to take that role, it might be time to look for another person to date, right?
If you're single.
If you're single, yes. If you're married, that's a whole other thing. Call me, we'll talk about it, okay? But if you are just kind of dating around and he's not stepping up and taking that role, and that's something you need, maybe it's time to move on. Don't sit around and wait.
He's only reaching out after 9 o'clock on Friday or Saturday night. Yeah. Don't think he's dating you. He's not. No. He's sleeping with you. Right. Okay.
It's sad how many people you actually have to explain.
Well, they accept breadcrumbs when they shouldn't. Now,
yeah, which is an actual term in dating is breadcrumbing.
Breadcrumbing, yeah. And it's just what's the minimum I can do to keep them interested, keep them on the hook. The person I talked to yesterday, who's now following my advice, he's dating 3 women.
Okay.
He's up front, and it's not like he sees all 3 of them every week.
Right.
But one of them's sometimes available. They have kids. Some of them are divorced, have kids. They all have busy lives. Some of them are more interested in the actual dating. One of them is also interested in having fun. And sometimes it's more about having fun than going out. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Everyone there is involved and consented, which is a huge piece
As an adult, they're adults.
They've all consented because everybody's being upfront and honest.
Yep. So, if you're struggling with these areas, reach out to Melanie or myself. There'll be contact information below. The level up to this grounded, calm, masculine essence that women, quite honestly, find attractive as fuck. Go ahead and click on the link below for Mentoring Men. Come join us in the community. We've got free courses as well, but you'd be surprised. A lot of times the secret sauce missing in a man's life is brotherhood. All right? We'll see you soon.